My name is Oscar Vasquez, and today I want to talk to you about my Super Nintendo collection. Well, I started collecting Super Nintendo games a long time ago. Ever since the console came out, I grew up with the console. Well, there's tons and tons of games for the console, but some of my favorite games include Killer Instinct. Some of the good Super Mario World is really good, and Donkey Kong Country was my first Super Nintendo game. Yeah, I got my Super Nintendo on a whim. My dad just bought it for me out of nowhere. I didn't even want the thing, and I distinctly remember him telling me, "Hey, when you plug everything up, put the game in it, don't touch it." And I always thought it was a funny thing. I was like, why can't I touch it? And I back in the day, these old consoles, if you even nudge them a little bit, the game would just reset. A lot of these games are really old and beat up and grimy and nasty, so you kind of have to refurbish them. There's no way around it. You have to open them up, clean them up, get them going, because a lot of these games don't work like you just straight up pop them in. They don't work. A lot of people like to blow on them. It's not a good recommendation. All the moisture you blow into them, it just adds corrosion and rust to it. So you have to refurbish these things now. The first game that I can remember refurbishing was Kirby's Avalanche. It's a funny story because my neighbor, I lived in an apartment complex back in the day, and one of my neighbors, his apartment actually caught on fire, and half of the apartment pretty much went up in flames. And afterwards, I guess the neighbors just bailed out and just left, and they left all their stuff in there. So the landlord asked us, "Hey, if there's anything you want in the apartment, go knock yourself out, grab it." So we went in there. There was a cartridge on the floor. I grabbed it, picked it up, put it in my Super Nintendo, took it home, put it in my Super Nintendo, and it didn't work. And it didn't work, and it didn't work, and it didn't work for years. So probably around the time when I was 13, 14, I went on the internet, did my research, found out I could do these things, and I got the game working, and it works like a charm. The first thing you need to do is you have to buy a security bit, because Super Nintendo games have security screws in them, and it's just like a security thing that Nintendo implemented back in the day because they didn't want people messing with their cartridges and just hacking them, so you don't have to have the actual game to play on the console. It's just a security reason. So you gotta buy a security bit. You can buy it on the internet. It's not that expensive. It's probably like $6-7 to buy a security bit. You open up the cartridge, you can take the board out and you can clean it up. Usually the contacts are really grimy and nasty, and I use this thing called Brasso, which pretty much grinds off the top layer of the contacts, and then a lot of people say you shouldn't be using that stuff because it can be bad because you're literally grinding off the top layer. But I've used it, and I've been using it for years. I've used it on a lot of games, and I've never had any issues. So you shake it real good, you grab some kind of cloth. That's the way I've always done it. Just put a little bit right there. I like to mix it real quick like this. And watch, it comes off like magic. Just grind it on real quick, like that. Just let it set for a little bit. You don't even gotta let it lay down that quick. So it's just, and then clean it off. I'm cleaning it off now. So look at that. All that black stuff comes right off on both sides. For the outside of the cartridge, like the actual cartridge itself, not the board, you can use this thing called, you just grab Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. It's pretty much sandpaper, so don't use it on any smooth surfaces because it will mess it up. Like on all the rough surfaces that it has, go at it. Just go at it. It'll get everything off. It's pretty much really fine sandpaper. All right, now that we've refurbished the game, we're gonna see, hopefully it works on the first try. So the cartridge is in there, we're gonna power up the machine. So here we go, we're gonna try it out. We're gonna hit power, see how it works. There you go, on the first try it works. So here we go. Let's play some Killer Instinct now that we refurbished the thing. And that's how you refurbish a Super Nintendo game.